We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome in to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're really easy to find on any of your favorite social media platforms where you love to waste time. And it's not time wasted if you're finding some good info for your bets this weekend. And also tonight, we've also got some great midweek action. We've got Monday Night Football. We've also got wildcard games for baseball. Some fun stuff to bet on. In today's show, we're delving into NFL, the opening line reports, some of the suspensions and injuries that have caused some of those lines to move. And also the same thing for college football, opening line reports there. MLB, diving into the wildcard games. The A's and the Rays in the American League, and also in the National League, the Nationals and the Brewers. And then finally, we're wrapping it up with college football, Temple, ECU, UCF, Cincinnati, and also Iowa at Michigan. And if I haven't mentioned yet, I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger. Normally I say that at the top of the show, but I was so excited to dive in to this Monday slate of all things betting that I got a little carried away. It was a great weekend for your girl in NFL, 6-0 on NFL bets. But I started off a little shaky when it came to college football. I will tell you there's nothing more frustrating than yelling at the screen at college kids that are just ruining a lot of your bets. I picked Maryland, which was a terrible pick. And then I also picked Cal, which was looking good until their quarterback got hurt. Their backup came in and could not complete a pass. Backup quarterbacks have been a big story in the NFL and also college football. It's been such a mixed bag because some of these guys have come in and really performed really well. We've seen Gardner Minshew come in and thread the needle to some of these receivers, and he won me some money. The NFL, the Jags. Nice little win on Sunday. But we're diving into all of these things on this Monday afternoon. When we get back from the break, we're talking opening line reports for both the NFL and college football, and also a little Monday Night Football. Stick with us after the break on Picks and Parlays Radio.
Attention business owners, now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for the business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
And welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger, on this fine Monday afternoon. And right now, we've got Craig Trapp joining us. You going to do the Chris Collinsworth slide in?
Hey, I had one worse than you. You said you had the bad
the Maryland game.
Well, I had Virginia Tech. So when you turn it on at the end of the first quarter and you know it's a ball game, it's like, okay, what time did the game start on Saturday? It's like
I know.
12 hours left.
That's the thing. Sometimes, college football is a little unpredictable.
Well, all sports can be unpredictable, but college football, college basketball, these college kids, it's
maddening.
At times.
I shouldn't be yelling at like 18 to 22-year-olds,
right?
But I do.
Yeah, well, you think about it. If you have Clemson and they almost lose outright to North Carolina, I mean, what a weekend. And also, big upset weekend. And if you like the Dogs this week in NFL. You did really well. You did extremely well. So had a decent weekend, but looking forward to put that one behind me and move on to a big week. Week 5 in the NFL, week 6 in college football. And I think this week could be a hidden nice gems as far as games on NFL.
All right, so let's dive into this opening line report for the NFL for this week. Craig Trapp going for us. Let's talk about some of these injuries because as we've seen, quarterback injuries have really moved some of these lines significantly.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the backup quarterbacks have been the story of the last few weeks. We're going to get even more this week. Of course, Haskins going to be going for Washington. That line with the Patriots not looking good at the Bills. I mean, they looked good early and then didn't score any rest of the game. That line's moved from 13 to 16. So the Patriots are a 16-point favorite on the road in Washington with, of course, Gruden on the hot seat there in Washington.
Well, and Dwayne Haskins threw 3 interceptions, and he didn't even play the whole game.
He's lucky. he could have really went for more. Redskins have just been a dumpster fire, and
the Patriots' defense is really good.
Oh, they're excellent. Buffalo did not play well on offense, but the defense was good. Interested to see kind of how that line moves. I could see that line going all the way up to 17. So if you like the Patriots in the 16 now, you better get in on it.
I think this was the first week that the Patriots had allowed a touchdown since last season, which was crazy. Obviously, Josh Allen is hard to stop sometimes, but that's another injury. Josh Allen in the concussion protocol now after taking a big hit against the Patriots. Has that line moved in?
Yeah, Bills at Titans this week. So we got Chelsea's Marcus Mariota. Look good this week. Who knows? Tennessee is the most unpredictable.
Never know what you're going to get with them.
The line has went from, they were favored at 1. Now it's 3. So if you do like the Bills, I would get in on it now. I do think Josh Allen looks like, you never know in the concussion protocol, but it does sound like he will probably get to go this one. But this line might drop if that news comes out. So if you like the Bills, I would get in on that one. But Tennessee at the time we're taping this is a 3-point favorite there.
And the Titans give back Taylor Lewan, who's been suspended for the first 4 games of the season. He's the left tackle I think it's the left tackle. He's an offensive tackle for the Titans. He's protecting Marcus Mariota, so that's a big get for the Titans. And hopefully they can give Mariota a little more protection when he's back.
Yeah, the other big quarterback, of course, Chase Daniel is going to be starting for Trubisky this week. That line went Bears at the Raiders. The lines moved from -6 with the Chicago Bears to now -4.5, which is kind of surprising because that Bears defense has been unbelievable, and Chase Daniels looked really good. I think this might be one that Trubisky might not get that starting job back if Chase Daniels continues this.
Right. Sometimes these lines move, even though the starting quarterback hasn't been doing that well. We saw it with, who was it? Sam Darnold.
And also with the Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton hadn't looked good, and now of course Carolina.
I think it's almost an upgrade.
Yes, at times you just have to, but it's a public perception thing, and you also have a recency bias. Sometimes when a team comes off a really good performance, you can see that line move. Similar to, I'm surprised this one, the Bucs at the Saints. The Saints were favored by 6.5. Of course, Teddy Bridgewater's 2-0 since Drew Brees went down. Now they're only favored by 4. I think that has a lot to do with the recency bias because, of course, Tampa Bay looked really good with putting up 60 points at a hot LA Rams team before that.
Right. Even though it's almost the opposite of your trend. Sometimes we talk about going West Coast to East Coast is a lot harder, but the Bucs were going, the other direction.
Tough back-to-back spot when you have to play in LA, then they're going to go back to Tampa and then have to travel to, we've seen a very hot Saints team. The Saints have looked as good the last 2 weeks as really what we really expected New Orleans to look like all year since Drew Brees. Not saying they're better without Drew Brees, and he'll be back soon, but they've been good for bettors. They've covered both games as an outright underdog. Now they're a 4-point favored this week. The other recency bias, I think, a little bit as the Colts at the Chiefs. A lot of people just think how good this offense has looked at Kansas City, but I mean they really had to work hard to get that win last week. 8.5, we saw that opening line. Now it's all the way up double digits, 10.5. So a Colts team that's looked really good, and then I think the Colts are one of those sneaky teams just because ever since Andrew Luck went out or announced his retirement, we've kind of written the Colts off. But now you look, the Colts are in the fight for that division in the South.
All right, let's move on to the college football opening line report with Craig Trapp, still here, still giving us some good info. We talked about recency bias a little bit in our NFL segment. Now let's carry it over to college football because that seems to be the main factor with some of these lines moving. Yeah,
like Georgia. Georgia's looked amazing at times this year, and Tennessee has not looked good. We see that line started open at 22, now 25. Also, Auburn at Florida. Auburn has looked very good.
Right. They've got a case to be a top 5 team in the country.
If they win this game, this is their toughest game, I think, because it's Auburn at Florida. It was open as a pick. Now Auburn's favored by 3. The other big one would, of course, be Ohio State. They've got Michigan State, a very good defense this week. 17 was the opening number at Ohio State this week. It's 20 now. I know Coach Day in Ohio State has looked really good. We liked him last week. We talked about it on the show. But, man, 20 points against
a Michigan State defense.
Good defense. And an experienced quarterback. You remember D'Antonio was the defensive coordinator back there when they won the championship way back. So, I mean, he knows about Ohio State football. That's an interesting matchup. The other one that's probably the biggest line movement of the week is more because of Purdue's quarterback at Purdue at Penn State. Line open at 16.5. It is 27.5 now. So that's laying some wood. But like you said, Penn State took it to Maryland this week, so I think that might have a little bit of the recency bias on top of injury to the Purdue quarterback.
Right. Were there any other games you think people are overreacting to? Because I know Texas A&M, we talked about this before the show. Texas A&M almost lost to Arkansas, a team that has not looked good.
Well, I think the Virginia Tech looking so bad in a primetime game on Friday, that line has moved from 8. They're Virginia Tech at Miami. Miami opened at 8.5. It's 13.5 now. Miami hasn't looked a whole lot better this year, so I'm kind of surprised that moved past the key number of 10, but 13.5. So I mean, I guess if you're going to take Virginia Tech, you probably should wait on this one because I have a feeling it will go past the key number of 14, and I won't be laying my money anytime on Virginia Tech after this week. But if you are a bettor and you want to play Virginia Tech, I would wait on that one. The other one, Georgia Tech has looked so bad this year. North Carolina, of course, looked extremely good. Probably should have beat
I knew they could
Clemson.
move the football. I think
that was unbelievable. we'll find out this week, because you can have a big letdown after almost winning. 7.5 was the opening number on the road for North Carolina. Now it's at 10. So Georgia Tech has been really bad. I mean, Temple took it to them last week.
Well, because Georgia Tech is switching offenses. They were that triple option for the longest time, and now they're trying to run something that's not a triple option with players that have been recruited to run the triple option. As we've seen,
right,
hasn't been good.
That's a really tough move. And on top of it, they haven't been good defensively for many years. So now, not only you're not good defensively, you can't control the ball. And, man, they are just terrible. It might be the worst team in all of Power 5. And I was pretty surprised. I like Temple this week, but that one was extra bad. So exciting week in college football this week, but also the number 1 and 2 teams are on byes this week. So both Alabama and Clemson off this week.
And we're getting to the point in the season where some of these teams can't sneak up on people. SMU is now 5-0. So right. I think we'll see that in some of the lines, and they're not going to be this easy bet that they have been. Yeah,
we didn't mention it, but there's South Florida this week. There was a big line movement in that game as well. And weekday game of Cincinnati, Central Florida is a key matchup this week. I think that line will move come closer to game time. All right, that's our college football opening line report with Craig Trapp. We're back after the break on Picks and Parlays Radio with some MLB wildcard action. Back after the break.
Do you have a problem hearing the television? Do you need to crank up the volume so loud your family is screaming at you? Then put on your TV ears. TV Ears has helped millions of people just like you hear TV loud and clear without cranking up the volume. For about $60 with a 30-day free trial, you can get your own set of TV Ears. When you wear TV Ears, you can mute the TV volume for private listening or let others watch TV with you. Order in the next 10 minutes and take us up on our 30-day home trial and very special price. TV Ears is a brand hearing professionals have trusted for more than 20 years. And through this special radio offer, you can get your very own for just $60. Just mention promo code RADIO. So put on your TV ears and make everyone happy. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. That's 800-984-4207.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're really easy to find, usually the first thing that pops up. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger. It's just my name, is my handle. And right now we've got Sean Higgs joining us to talk a little baseball. Hello, Sean.
Well, hello, Miss Chelsa. How are you today?
Doing good. All right, so it's fun when we have some postseason games in baseball because as of late, I guess the past 162 games, a lot of these games by themselves have not been quite as meaningful. So now the real fun starts. Let's start with these wild card games. This Brewers Nationals game, I believe, is on Tuesday, or is it Wednesday?
No, you're right. It's tomorrow's game. Brewers and the Nats. And finally, some meaningful baseball. It just seems like that last month dragged down with the way a lot of these teams mailed it in. But good matchup here. We got the Nats as a about 175, 180 favorite over the Brewers. And let's be honest, Chelsea, who thought after losing Yelich these guys are going to run off and win 18-20 to get here?
Right, and I would imagine the Nationals are big favorites in this one because they are at home and because they have Max Scherzer on the mound, who not only has been really good this season, 11-7 with a 2.92 ERA, he also has postseason experience, and that's something that the Brewers, they don't have quite as much of when it comes to Brandon Woodruff, who's 11-2 with a 3.62 ERA. He does have 143 strikeouts and 121 innings pitched, which is a good number, but it's hard to go against Max Scherzer.
Well, real fast, Woodruff, Milwaukee 18-4 with this guy on the hill. So they won some games with him. But again, he's off an oblique injury, 2 starts back under his belt. I don't know how many innings he's going to go. Let's be honest. They got Hader at the end of the bullpen. In between, like 99% of baseball teams, the bullpen is a crapshoot. Who's hot, who's throwing the ball well. I'm actually thinking Jordan Lyles, since coming over from the Pirates in that trade, he's been pretty good. So I'm sure we'll see him. Yeah, he's been excellent. So I'm sure we'll see him at some point tomorrow. But getting to Scherzer, how about his team's 5-11 and the Nats 0-4 with a record with him on the hill? Now, listen, we've seen some aces. We know Kershaw's had problems in the postseason. Some pitchers do good, some do bad. It is what it is. He still has a 203 batting average against, which says guys are not really hitting him too much. So it's as much as – listen, I like Scherzer. I know it's a big number. Run line's 116. It's something I'm definitely going to look at. He looks healthy. Double-digit Ks in his last 2 starts coming into this start. I mean, I don't know. Milwaukee, it's a great story. But I think the Nats, finally with no pressure. Now, I mean, people expect them to win the division and stuff. They got him, Strasburg, Corbin, Rendon, Soto. They got players and all this stuff. But now the pressure's not on them. The Braves are the NL East champs. The Dodgers are the odds-on favorite to win the National League. Maybe this is the time to shine for them because they don't have the target on their backs. They're the hunter as opposed to the hunted. Right. And what's interesting with some of these wild card games is, as you mentioned, we can see some of these starters come in and throw out of the bullpen, which, as you mentioned, the Nationals have one of the better rotations in baseball with Patrick Corbin and Strasburg. So I don't know. I just think when you're using everything but the kitchen sink when it comes to pitchers, I think the Nationals have the edge. I don't like laying 175, but is there any way to take the Brewers in this one? I'm not seeing it. I don't think their bullpen's nearly as good as they were last year. Yeah, no, I definitely don't think the bullpen is good. And the hitters here, I'm looking, no regular is hitting other than Ryan Braun because Yelich's gone. No one's hitting over 260 in that lineup. Right. Christian Yelich was a big loss for them, obviously. Yeah, I mean, and on the other side, dude, the Nationals, let's be honest, Anibal Sanchez, their 4th starter, he could easily be the ace or the 1A on this Milwaukee team. And he might not even get in. He might be starting, if they win tomorrow, he's starting against the Dodgers. And you got to think the Nationals have a chance because the guy's been pretty decent. I just think, listen, the 180 is a lot. But if I'm bringing in guys like Corbin, who's been unhittable at home, he's got great home numbers here, the odds are just in their favor. I mean, you can make the argument saying, hey, the Brewers 18-20, playing with house money. They're pumped up. They're excited. They're this and that. I guess you could take that angle, take back 160. But I don't know. I just like the Nats. Again, they're not the favorites. They've always been the favorites. They have a huge payroll with their starting pitchers, and they've been expected to win. They've missed playoffs. Guys get hurt. Well, here we are.
They don't have Bryce Harper anymore either.
Yeah. And listen, I think
so the
Soto's
spotlight's
better than
a little
Bryce
off.
Harper. We'll be down the road. Yeah, but I mean, he's got I guess Bryce brought the spotlight, but I don't know. I think when you're paying these $200 million contracts for these starting pitchers, that brings a lot of heat on you too as well.
Right, but I think starting pitching is very, very important, as I think we'll see in this postseason. But let's look at the total real quick. It's 7.5. Is that worth a look?
I could see some runs scored here because historically, listen, Scherzer's going to give up 2 or 3 runs in the playoffs here, and I think on the other side, the Brewers, you got a soft underbelly, and you got some guys who could hit. I mean, listen, I think Rendon should get some MVP consideration, but they just got a veteran lineup. I mean, Howie Kendrick, I'm looking 120 games, guy hit 344. Like who? That's crazy. Like, I wouldn't expect this guy to hit 344. They got a lot of veterans on there. You got, like, Matt Adams. Zimmerman's been there a long time. So, if you want a total side, I'll probably lean towards the over. Because, believe it or not, I don't think Scherzer's going 8 and giving up 0 runs. I think he'll give up a run or 2 just based on – that's baseball. Somebody's going to get a hold of one. There's going to be a home run somewhere. Right. But I definitely think the Nats are going to hit whoever comes in this game. I mean, Woodruff – whatever, he had nice numbers, but I don't know. I don't think he's holding his lineup in check. I mean, the Nationals could hit.
Right. Okay, let's move on to the American League wildcard matchup between the Rays and the A's. This one is on Wednesday, October 2nd. The A's have not named a starter yet. It's either going to be Sean Manaea or Mike Fiers, more than likely. Last season, they went with Liam Hendriks as an opener against the Yankees, and that did not fare well. Granted, Liam Hendriks is a different pitcher this year. He's been lights out. But Charlie Morton is going for the Rays, and that's why I think it's tough to pick against the Rays because Charlie Morton is a bona fide ace for the Rays, a 16-6, 3.05 ERA, and he does have 2 appearances against the A's this season, 7 shutouts, 6 1/3, 1 run. So those are good numbers. You all right over there?
Yeah, a little cough. Still recovering from my allergies. You know what's the worst about this game is you got these low payroll guys playing each other. Like, why can't – I'd love to see one of these teams, instead of playing a wild card round, have them face the Yanks, have them face the big bad Astros.
Well, they will next.
Their lineup. I know, but just to face them off to each other. I mean, these are 2 teams I like, 2 teams we've made money on this year. A's with 52 home wins. The 140 – listen, I think they're going to have Manaea out there because Fiers, he's been – as good as his numbers were up till about mid-August, he's kind of hit a bump.
Right.
You know, maybe he's a little tired. So, listen, Manaea in his 5 starts, 4 wins, and a 120 ERA, that's the guy you want to send out here in this game.
Or we could see them both, actually.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But, I mean, send me Manaea first. I'm not sure. I didn't check for his rest the last time he pitched. I think Fiers just pitched the last game or second to last game. So, I don't know if he'll be ready to – he'll come in as the second guy. I think Manaea should get the start.
Yeah.
I mean, more anything could have to have the edge based on the starters here. The bullpens, again, you got they're kind of equalish, I think.
I was about to say it's almost crazy how similar these 2 teams are. They're both low payroll teams. They're both teams that don't really get the spotlight, but yet they seem to knock off these big teams consistently, which no matter who wins, it'll be a really interesting matchup against the Astros in the next round.
Oh, yeah, and listen, we saw Oakland play Houston pretty good just a couple weeks ago in Houston. So, I like Tampa. I always have a little sauce spot for them, but I don't know. I got to lean Oakland. I think Manaea is going to give them a good outing. And I'm looking at their power. Dude, Chapman, Olsen, Seaman, Chris Davis, Pro 4. I can't even pronounce this one guy's name. Laveriano? I don't even know. He's got 20 homers.
Laureano?
Like 7 guys with
Is it
25,
Ramon Laureano?
22. Yes, Laureano.
He's really good defensively, too.
They just got a lot of power, more power than Tampa. So, again, we're in the age of the juice ball. Warren's giving up some home runs.
Well, the A's ballpark isn't exactly hitter-friendly, though. It does have a big yard.
Yeah, but these guys hit some balls, though, man. I don't know. I mean, you're telling me they're hitting 200 home runs all on the road. I don't know. I'm going to take the A's here. 142. I'd say run line, but I think this is going to be like a close game. I could see this game being like a 5-4 type game. I think we'll see some runs. So maybe over as our best play here to 7.5. I think we see more runs than a total shutout going on.
Right. I'm really interested to watch this one. This is probably one I wouldn't bet just because I want to watch it. I think the next round for me is when I'll be laying some money. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. They're so similar. Listen, it's hard to pick one.
It is. I just, the way Manaea's pitching, though, I'm on him right here. And if they get fire second half, or the second half of the game, I should say, if he comes in middle innings, whatever the case may be. But I don't know. He's either banged up or he's just tired, because he threw out his first start of the year, and everything in between, he was like the top pitcher in baseball. I mean, the numbers were there. He was a top 2 or 3 guy.
Even though I don't think anybody's tired when it comes to the postseason.
No, but I mean, you're hurt. You're got to go out there. I mean, you saw him lose 7-2 last year. You send the guy out there who's injured. He's going to want to do something for the team. Well, it's going to blow up in your face. So I don't know. We'll take Oakland here, and we like the over.
And one more note, Manaea's actually been really good against lefties, and the Rays do have some of their best hitters as left-handed hitters. So that's one more stat to digest.
In our
Always
favor.
Good stuff
from
Sean Higgs. Sean, thanks for coming on. We're back after the break, talking a little football on Picks and Parlays Radio after the break.
Bye-bye.
Prepare your vehicle for the weather ahead during Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on batteries and accessories. Plus, save on your next oil change with 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $28.99. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, travelers. Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-7851, 800-439-7851, 800-439-7851, 800-439-7851.
Hey, Mike, how's the house coming along?
Needs a ton of work. The pipes are leaking. Needs a new roof. The AC just broke. I just don't have time to do it all myself. You know anyone?
Oh, just ask Home Advisor. They match you with the best local pros for any home project.
Cool.
Yeah, you can read reviews and book appointments online.
What's it cost?
Actually, Home Advisor is always free to use.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
HomeAdvisor.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me here every day, 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern, and also on Twitter, @Chelsa Messenger is my handle. And right now, we're going to dive into some college football with Tony T. Hello, Tony.
Good afternoon, Chelsa. Yes, ready to talk some college football. You know, rapid fire, I'm 5-1 ATS. Premium not so hot, but I was really upset, Chelsa, with that Virginia game, giving up those defensive and special team touchdowns to Notre Dame. I thought that was a spot for Virginia to cover at least that one.
I know. It's tough when you lose them like that. Let's move on to this week's slate. Let's start with Temple and ECU. Temple is favored by 12 in this one. Total sits at 48. Temple is coming off that win over Georgia Tech, which is a team, you know, I'd take that with a grain of salt because Georgia Tech's offense has not looked good at all this season, coming from a triple option offense, moving to an offense that's not a triple option with players that were recruited to run the triple option has spelled disaster for them. And then ECU has only won against FCS opponents, and their 2 L's have come to NC State and Navy. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, Chelsea, we got the line here. You said Temple laying 12 on the road, total of 48. I'm going to go ahead and take the underdog, East Carolina, plus the 12. I was concerned here with the Owls road game. Temple going to a rebuilding Buffalo Bulls team. Remember, Tyree Jackson was the quarterback last year for the Bulls. He's left the program. I think he was trying to get onto the Buffalo Bills practice squad and from the MAC, and they were beaten soundly 38-22. And it was a sloppy loss for Temple, giving up 4 turnovers in defeat. But really the issue I have here with the Owls, Chelsea, is quarterback Anthony Russo. He's just not accurate. Look at his completion rate against FBS opponents. 54% against Maryland, 49% completion rate against Buffalo, 41% against a restructuring Georgia Tech team. So I'd have to look here at the East Carolina side.
What do we see when it comes to ECU? I don't know a whole lot about them, so fill me in.
Yeah, East Carolina for the longest has been a doormat school, but they've started to show some improvement. And it's really coming from the defense, and they're really good at stopping the run. They held the Old Dominion to just 80 yards rushing on 42 attempts, and the Owls, they're not running the football very well, only 3.9 yards per attempt. Pirates, they're an experienced team. They've got the quarterback back from last year, 7 starters back on offense and defense. And I like the spot here for them because Temple's not running the ball effectively. And again, Russo's just not accurate enough in this spot. So I'll take the 12.
I will say one fun fact about ECU. They did beat NC State when Russell Wilson was the quarterback because I was in school. And I remember watching that game and just shaking my head. That was a bad loss for us. But moving on, let's go to UCF and Cincinnati. UCF is favored -5 in this one. Total sits at 60. What are your opening thoughts kind of on the line in this game?
Yeah, we're seeing line here movement. It opened 1.5. It's ballooned up to 5. We're seeing some 4.5 someplace, but I'll take the 5 with Cincinnati here. The total sits at 60. Now, UCF, they've piled up wins to an FCS school in Florida A&M. They beat Florida Atlantic, then they beat a down Stanford team who was in a really bad spot. Then they faced a doormat in UConn where they gave up 21 points in victory. Now we look at their only road game. It was a step-up performance against the Knights, I should say. It's their only road step-up game. I need to qualify that. They got beaten by Pitt, and they allowed an offensively challenged Panthers team 35 points. Remember, UCF lost a lot from their defense from a year ago. They're giving up. They give up nearly 200 yards on the ground and nearly 5.5 yards per rush average against that Pitt offense. And Pitt also completed 3 touchdown passes. So I'll have to look here at the home underdog in this one, Chelsea.
Do you think UCF is getting too much credit these days? Because I know they were favored by, I want to say 40 points against UConn, and they didn't cover.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of credit, but when you look at UCF, this is a program that's a little different than the past. They only returned 5 starters to their defense. Remember, they're a really solid defensive team. And their quarterback, Mackenzie Milton, well, he's not playing. Remember, he suffered that knee injury, and they're going with the freshman Dylan Gabriel. And, Gabriel in that game, in his road game against Pitt, threw 2 picks. And now he sees a very strong defensive team here in Cincinnati. So I was a little concerned here with the way UCF looked on the road in that Pitt game. Of course, Cincinnati, we know, listen, I know they lost to Ohio State, but listen, Ohio State's making a lot of teams look bad. And
I like
this this Bearcats team at home, especially under the bright lights here. I think they'll be up for this one. That's why, when you're taking these type of points, they don't have to win. I mean, especially when you have a game with a defensive team like the Bearcats, the game could land 28-24, 28-23. With the Bearcats are winning there, but I'm just saying is that a game can land 3 or 4 and you win no matter who wins when you take 5.
Right. And I think, as you mentioned, looking back in retrospect, I don't think that loss to Ohio State looks nearly as bad for Cincinnati. And conversely for UCF, their win over Stanford. I think Stanford, the travel got to them, and it's not a Stanford team that has produced to the level that people were expecting. Yeah, they definitely aren't. Of course, they have some quarterback issues there as well with Stanford. But when we look at Cincinnati, they're an 11-win team from last year, and you got to respect that win. Marshall is not a doormat. Marshall is a pretty good team from Conference USA. They went over there and won 52-14. And of course, the Bearcats, as we said, they are experienced, and I really respect that Bearcats team. All right, let's move on to a big one. At least, for Michigan, they need some big wins to kind of right the ship, I would say. Iowa and Michigan facing off. Iowa as the dog in this one at +4.5. Total sits at 47.5. Do you think Michigan looks a little better in this one? Well, this is a tough game here. Michigan, as they usually expect, they went in and they bullied a bad Rutgers team. Now they're facing a good defensive team in Iowa. Just, I really look at this being as a grinding game. I think we're going to see a result of a field goal or less in this one. That's why I like to take the points here. Iowa plus the 4.5. They do enter play a perfect 4-0. They did have that dominating home win against Middle Tennessee State, but what really stands out was Iowa's win on the road to Iowa State. Now, Iowa State had circled this game because, everyone had touted Iowa State as a team from the Big 12 to really make a run here, and they really took away their momentum by going over there. Yes, there was some weather delays. They had to deal with that as well, but Iowa was able to escape that with the victory. And when you look at Iowa, they are moving the football 465 yards per game. They have balance. They're running for 5.2 yards carry, and they have a senior at quarterback who's accurate, Nate Stanley, who's completing 64% of his passes. Right, and you mentioned this Iowa defense. How do you think they match up with this Michigan offense that has struggled at times? Iowa's defense is really strong. That's one of the reasons why I like the points here, because they're holding teams to 251 yards a game, just 3.5 yards per rush average. And of course, you look at Michigan's troubles. They faced a team like Army had struggles there, winning in overtime, and of course Wisconsin ran the ball for 359 yards on him. And I look at Iowa's team, the way they're structured on the offensive line, and they could give Michigan some struggles, some issues there blocking, especially that defensive line for Michigan. I could see Iowa open up some holes and playing one of those ball control games with low possession amounts, I should say, and the game be a little lower scoring. But I'm not gonna play the total because it could easily go over 47.5. Right, and something for Michigan has been the turnovers. We've seen some really bad fumbles for them. Do you think that's going to be an issue against Iowa? It could be because, like we said, Iowa is definitely a hard-hitting team, really physical. And my issue here with Michigan is, look at Michigan's opponent, Shea Patterson. He needs to complete more than 59% of his passes. That's just not accurate enough. When you face a team like Iowa, you need to be able to go vertical on them, and I don't think he can do that in this spot. Do you think this line moves any throughout the week? That's a really good question. We've seen it move from open, because it was about 1.5 at open. It's moved all the way to 4.5, and we see it hit to 5 yesterday, and it came down to 4.5. I think it will stick around 4 to 4.5. Anything, I think it'll come down to 4. I would say there. If you like Iowa, I think you got to play it now. I think people are going to look at this Iowa team and know that they're a little better than they look on paper here. Even though their schedule might not be as strong, they did pound Middle Tennessee State at home. But that win at Iowa State really stood out to me. All right, we've got a little extra time to play with here. Let's talk Monday Night Football. Bengals Steelers, because I know you're always prepared for every game. Tony T is one of the most knowledgeable people we have on the show. He always does his research. What are your thoughts on this Steelers-Bengals game? Yeah, this Steelers-Bengal game is interesting here. Mason Rudolph, I'm a little concerned about his accuracy. And you look at Andy Dalton, who is a veteran, a grizzled veteran here. I would really look to take the points in this one, plus the 3 here with Cincinnati Bengals, because I just think the way the Steelers secondary has just looked terrible this year. Their defense giving up over 400 yards a game. And, it's hard, when San Francisco
You lose 24-20, and you have like a +3 turnover margin, and you can't win that game. That's troubling to me. So I would definitely look on the Bengals side.
Right, and it's always nice to get some points because, as we've seen, some of these games have been really close. I think with the quarterback matchup, obviously, I'd take Andy Dalton over Mason Rudolph, but the problem with the Bengals is sometimes that their offense has looked very one-dimensional. They haven't gotten the run game involved quite as much, and that means more pressure on Andy Dalton to produce. It means more pressure on the receivers. Do you see this Bengals offense scoring some points in this one?
Yeah, I really think that the Bengals are working on that run offense. So they got players there. Bernard, they got Mixon in the backfield. I think this is the week where they kind of look at themselves, hey, look, we need to establish the run, get the run going so we can actually open up some plays, have a little bit of play action work for them. And they competed in that game against Buffalo last week. We saw them in Seattle compete. And if they put forth that type of effort, they can come out and at least cover this one.
Sometimes the public perception of the Steelers, they just get some credit just because they're the Steelers. And automatically, it just rings more validation to them. And plus, the Bengals have lost 11 of 12 to the Steelers. Do you think the Steelers get too much credit in this one?
I think, when you look at the line here, opening at 4 and it's come down to 3, I think they're getting about as, I think the public's right on this. I think when you look at this game, if this were held in Cincinnati, we'd look at the Bengals being favored. So I don't think they're giving the Steelers too much credit here. I think they saw what happened in San Francisco, and a little concerned here. They got the 6.5 did cover, but man, the 49ers had to cough the football away, and they gained over 460 yards on that Steelers defense. So I think they looked at that stat line. They were concerned here about the Steelers.
With the exception of that Eagles game, it seems like a lot of the primetime games have hit the under. Would this one be worth a shot looking at the under in this one?
Yeah, I would definitely lean to the under in this game. I really do believe that'll be the case because I just think the offenses are not that sharp right now. And I think even though we've seen some laxes defensively with both of these teams, I just don't know if Mason Rudolph is accurate enough to really put up a lot of points on the board here. And of course, we've seen the Steelers with their issues on the ground. So I would definitely look here. I think the under could definitely be in play in this one.
Do you think this is a breakout game for either team? Because as we've seen, some of these teams have looked really bad, and then all of a sudden they'll have a good game. And we saw it with the Browns. They actually looked good this weekend, even though obviously they have a lot of talent there. But do you see this being a breakout game for either of these teams?
I think more so if the Bengals come out with a win and can get their run game going, I think they can try and salvage a respectable season. But, for the Steelers, winning at home, I don't think that's going to really be a breakout. I would think a breakout game would be going on the road and getting a victory.
Right. Well, both these teams are winless, so there's got to be some tension on both of these sides, especially with the Steelers, I would say, because the expectations in general are a little higher for the Steelers, even though, they don't have their starting quarterback. But I don't know.
Yeah, the issue here with Rudolph is that a lot of his passes were for 4 yards or less. He did not throw the ball downfield, and that's the concern here. You're not able to go vertical in this game.
Right, and that's something that Big Ben normally does especially well, and that's why their offense has been really explosive in the past.
Yeah, they have. And of course, Mason Rudolph throwing against those Big 12 defenses. Well, it's a little different when you go up against the pros.
Right. Big 12 is not known for their defense. Always good stuff from Tony T. When we get back from the break on Picks and Parlays Radio, a nice little recap of all of today's picks. Stick with us. We'll be back.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money.
So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit, and 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays Radio here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network, and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the social media platforms you can think of. We had a great show today. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger, in case you forgot. You can find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger. But yeah, it was a great show today. We had plenty to talk about, including baseball wildcard matchups and also, you guessed it, football. So right now, let's dive into a recap of all of today's picks. In case you were sleeping on us and you weren't paying attention, we got you covered. Sean Hicks gave us some MLB wildcard picks. Brewers at Nationals. He's taking the Nationals at, I don't think they're plus 115. I believe they're minus 175, if my notes are correct. Rays at A's, take the under at 7.5. And then moving on to some football. Tony T with some college football picks here. Temple at ECU, taking East Carolina, plus 12. UCF at Cincinnati, taking the Bearcats, Cincinnati plus 5. And then we've got Iowa at Michigan, taking Iowa. The Dogs in this one plus 4.5. Those are picks from the day. Hopefully some of those are winners. Some of our handicappers have been really hot lately, especially on our rapid fire picks. So not to toot our own horn, but some of our guys know what they're talking about. Tomorrow we've got more baseball, we've got more football, we've got more NFL, college, you name it, all kinds of things to talk about, and angles to consider when placing your bets this weekend. As always, we're here 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern, every weekday. If you want to join us, we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place on Picks and Parlays Radio. Bet, win, repeat. See you tomorrow.